football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir. Welcome to another marvelous episode of Overreaction Monday. I am the governor of college football, and with me is a guy that needs no introduction, the mayor of college football, Downtown Nino Brown. My dog Nino, man. I miss you, my dog. How you been, bro?
Good. I took a week hiatus. Kids' schedule had me going crazy, but I'm back. We got a lot to talk about. Finally, the NFL draft is over. We can put that to bed, right?
Right.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now for us, it's kind of just college football from here on out for another 320 days, maybe.
Yeah, so, something like that around that time. I like when we let these kids go. We celebrate these kids, and then a new group of kids. You, Andy, D now, SC and Boomer, especially when we talk about Oklahoma, y'all already on it. Y'all already on the next wave. So I cheat off of y'all. Like, I don't pay a lot of attention to recruits only because flipping season is so damn terrible, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And like USC is killing it, right? Let's see how many of these people really end up going to USC early signing day, So that's why I'm like, I look at y'all for that. That's how I keep up with recruiting. I know y'all gonna keep me intact with that. Other than that, man, I can't keep up with it. It's just too much, bro.
And the portal too. I mean, these kids going to school, just having a breakfast and a tour, and then going to the next school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but the dust is starting to settle, right? Slowly, the dust is settling. So this will be, you're gonna start to see a lot of these guys kind of commit in the next week or two, and we'll get to see everything shake out, but. It's been a bumpy ride from the start of the transfer portal to this second transfer portal through the draft and all that stuff. It's been wild. We've had some stories, Lions. That's
right.
Sure.
We have. There's a couple things. Ryan Day had mentioned having only one portal season.
I'm down.
Did you see that? You down for that? And I think it was after the spring. My thoughts were it would fix some of the crap that we've been seeing with guys transferring in the winter portal and the late portal. Like, it would fix some of that, but I think it would be even more chaotic.
I would say
Chris Henry is 6'6". Chris Henry Jr. is 6'6".
6 stars, I think he said. Is that what he's trying to say? Oh, 6'6". Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's genetics, boy.
Yeah. His dad was a big fellow too. Mm-hmm. I would say before the spring. I would want the portal to be right before the spring, right? So like they can't cry about, oh my guy, I didn't want him to get stolen. Like, you kind of know going into the spring game if you were going to play or not. So like right in the middle of like spring practices, you get once they figure out whether you're going to be something or not, then if they're going to keep it this way, one window. And we go. None of this at the end of the year when it's bowl games and shit. Oh, I'm not playing. I'm out of here. Right. One season, call it a day, and let's move on. Because we seem to be having the same conversation, year after year now.
Every year. Yeah, we are having the same conversation. But let's get into some rapid fire questions. Superlatives, of course, and it's going to be NFL draft style. So let's get into it. What team or teams, be multiple, had the best draft in your estimation?
I mean, it's been 3-4 years now, but I mean, Howie.
And shout out to you, bro. I feel like every year you're doing draft coverage now, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, dog.
I try to get away from these kids, but
every year I'm like, man, my boy Nino's killing it again. Like, draft season, you're doing something, bro. So shout out to you, bro. And shout out what you do for the community as well.
Yeah, I mean, my guy Mike, like Anthony wanted me on his show for Dynasty Dogs, and I went on there.
Incredible job you guys did with
those guys killed it. He was on the whole first round. I think he even streamed like the day 2 by himself.
Get the hell out of here. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's grind season for him. This is he's that fantasy guy. So shout out if you don't follow him, go follow my guy Mike Anthony at Dynasty Dogs. Him and Rich are good people. So go give them a follow. But I'm gonna say I got 2 teams that I like. I'll go Chalk. I'll go Philly. I mean, Howie Roseman deserves the award. I mean, the fact that you allowed this man at the end of the first round to probably get a guy that should have been drafted in the top 10 in Campbell, like that is just ridiculous. It just continues to get people over and over and over again. And Andrew McCumber, like you added Reed Blankenship you're on your time is on the clock here. Like if you ain't performing this year, McCollum's coming for your job. Like
Yes.
Howard Roseman, they're winning Super Bowls, they're in Super Bowls, and he's getting players to replace players before their time expires. Reminds me of like a Belichick maneuver
Right.
early
Right.
on, before he got
Mhm.
the ego, right when they were first winning. Before that, we were gonna get the replacement for the guy before he gets his expired date comes. Who else did they get? Ty Robinson, like that was a gift. And the Brad is an absolute monster on the defensive line. Run stopper, had 42 pressures last year, 30 run stops against Colorado. He had 8 pressures in
Mm.
one game. Like this guy is an absolute machine, and now you're adding him to it. Jalen Carter and everybody else that's on that line. Oh my God! I mean, they just knocked out the puck, and then they added three offensive linemen. That kind of goes under the rug for them, right? Like guys to keep Jalen Hurts upright. If they're going to continue to push or however they're going to modify it, they have, young, fresh legs up front. They added Kendall Williams, Kent Williams out of Texas, and then Horton out of Michigan. Drew Kendall out of Boston College, my guy, getting drafted. We like to see that. But yeah, and then you're getting guys that can do well in run scheme for Saquon Barkley. So, like, I think they knocked out the puck. I gave them an A minus in this draft. I mean, he's the guy that literally can just sit back and lets everything fall to him. Somehow these top 10 guys every year for the past 2-3 years have just fallen to him at the bottom of the draft, which is crazy. He's willing to take that risk, and I think he constantly hits. Like, dude, Dean's gone, and they already have a replacement. Dean's injured, and they got their replacement for him already right off the rip. So, like, I just think they knocked out Buck. And then Baltimore Ravens, man.
Oh yeah.
They've been looking for a guy to pair with Kyle Hamilton, and then you draft a guy who's so versatile, like Kyle Hamilton, who could put him anywhere in Malachi Sucks. It doesn't really matter where he lines up. Now you have both of those guys out there in that secondary. The options are endless. Like I said, you add him with him, and people sleep on Julius Washington. He's not a slouch. He's a good ball player. And then this is a Howie Roseman move. They got Mike Green in the second, a guy that everybody was saying was going to be a first-round pick, right? Because some kind of issues with character issues and past things. They scooped this guy. This absolute steal for them, who doesn't need to necessarily start off the rip, can be a rotational guy until he gets his feet wet. I think they knocked that out of the park. You have an aging running back who's probably on, maybe 1 or 2 more years left in it, with a mobile quarterback who had a healthy year. They went and added 2 offensive tackles, right? Emory Jones out of LSU, and then they added the, what is he, 6'9", 6'8", the kid out of Alabama A&M, Costin Vincent. But protect your assets, even though he's aging. You're protecting the guy. I love it. And then you got Van Noy. You drafted Trent Simpson last year, and then you have Roquan Smith, right? Roquan missed a few games over the past couple of years, but when he's in, he's obviously that guy, right?
Absolutely.
Van Noy's kind of aging. So you added, Teddy Buchanan where you needed it in that linebacker room. And how this dude went undrafted, I don't know. But they ended up getting Iowa linebacker Jay Harris as a UDFA. Like,
which is crazy.
Yeah, and these guys will be rotational in that 3-4 defense. You know what I'm saying? So the full line, these guys will be in year one playing with absolute necessary reps in a rotation. I actually love what Baltimore Ravens and Philadelphia Eagles.
This new NFL is about sub packages defensively, because with these offensive doing how creative the league has got, it's about being able to have sub linebackers in. It's about being able to have sub defensive linemen. We've seen Philly started the trend where
Buffalo's kind of started the trend
Buffalo
too.
Buffalo has you see somebody like AJ Epinesa. His only job is to rush the pass, and he's gotten like 6 or 7 sacks the last few seasons. So yes, just because you're not listed as a starter don't mean you can't get productive playing time. So let's talk about the opposite side of things. Which team or teams in your opinion had the worst draft?
I was kind of confused by Detroit a little bit here. I didn't really understand what they were doing. With a team that had a good year,
right,
and kind of got over that hump a little bit in the playoff finally, right? Got that W in the first round. They took Derek Williams, defensive tackle, when Campbell was on the board, right? When there was a couple other guys. Donovan Ezra-Rockboo was still on the board. Maxwell Harrison was still on the board, right? Like those 3 guys.
I can believe Dallas got Donovan is a rock.
I feel like with a team like that, those kind of style players, the mentality of those 3 guys that I mentioned, not to say that Tyler Williams isn't, a dog. I just feel like it would have fit more being, kind of like Harrison in that secondary gives them all kinds of options, right?
Trust me, I was elated to get bro, and then his energy at the draft was infectious too.
He was exactly, and another one, and I've done this for multiple years with New England. When you draft a guy at the wide receiver position, when you go out a limb, I'm watching who came after.
Yeah,
I think the kid's good, right? And I said he'd be a great big slot guy at the next level. I mean, this is putting Jameson Williams on notice, right? Pretty much like this is your last show. We're going to give you that extension, but if you don't make it, Isaac Tesler is probably going to be your replacement, right? But you draft him ahead of Pat Bryant, you draft him ahead of Jalen Noel, and you draft him ahead of Ty Felton. All three guys, I think, would fit in your system probably a little bit better.
If Merlin doesn't go 4 and 8, Ty Felton is a much higher pick. Much higher pick.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, I think even Pat Bryant. I think Pat Bryant in that system.
Love Pat Bryant.
Paired with Amon, like,
and he's right there. Like, Detroit is close to Illinois. He's right there. Like, go get him.
Yeah. So, like, in that case, I was kind of a little bit. I wouldn't say they did bad. I was just kind of confused, right? And then it was like, not to knock them, but I feel like it was like I give them a B+ for the first 3.5 rounds. And then I don't even know what to grade them for, the last 3 picks of the draft, the Cleveland Browns. Right? Like,
agreed.
Mason Graham, they took the linebacker out of UCLA, Schlesinger, and then Quinton Junkins and Harold Fanning Jr. at 67.
Home run picks.
I think those are all great because I look at Harold Fanning Jr. has a year to mold himself into David Njoku. Like, there you go.
For sure.
First, you got a model. The kid's been a great role model in that locker room, great leader for the Cleveland. And now you got a guy kind of similar in the style of play, right? Well, I love it. Loved it. Because they've always run 2 tight ends. They've had 3 tight ends for a while over there in Cleveland. They drafted one every year for 3 straight years. So, like, I like the Fanning pick. I love the Quinton Junkins pick. Kind of tells you we moved on from Nick Chubb, right?
For sure.
But then they restructured Jerome Ford. So he's staying. He's going to be the 2. Why Dylan Sampson? I don't understand it. Like,
right.
You waste the talent there. And then you draft Dylan Gabriel. and then was 2 rounds later in the 5th, you go and get Shador.
And that you could tell the staffers didn't want him. That they did not make that pick.
That was the owner's pick.
Yeah, that was the
owners said, "Yo, 100%. Go." But I think at that Shador was ranked higher than Dylan Gabriel. Like, I think he's a better quarterback at the next level, prospect anywise, than Dylan Gabriel. Hey, Dylan Gabriel talks to birds, and Dylan Gabriel was able to find out that he was going to the 97th or 94th pick. That's what the birds told him. That's what he called the day before. He said, the birds told me I'm going to Cleveland with the 94th pick.
He said that the day before? Seriously?
The day before. Oh, yeah. Called it. Was doing this. And I asked him, what did the birds say? Cleveland, 94th pick. Next day, Cleveland, 94th pick.
I did hear that story. That's crazy.
So there's a video about him. So maybe the Shador Sanders slide in Cleveland wasn't something that was backdoored. Maybe it was something that they just like Dylan Gabriel better. I don't know. I also hear they're probably going to run Kenny Pickett as the starting quarterback. That's the guy they like right now for this season. So who knows?
It's going to be interesting because Broadway Joe is there too, right?
Yeah.
Flacco.
I mean, the dual running back thing I didn't really like. I think that's you're kind of wasting the guy. Like,
you are.
I know they've always had 2 running backs, but Jerome Ford was a 1,000-yard back for you. He's a dual threat back, so he can be the 2 with no problem. Why you would go out and draft Sampson, who's a 1, could be somewhere else, or you could got a playmaker or something on it.
It kind of made sense for Dallas when Dallas did it, when they went and I think they got Jadon Blue, and then they proceeded to go get Phil Maffa. Different styles, they will complement each other well. I just, like you said, I agree with you. I didn't get it.
They got question marks in the veterans they signed at free agency, right? You got Javonte Williams kind of is like, you need to prove it to me now.
Right.
Because since the injury, you really haven't been the same. And then I got a Miles Sanders who's kind of been two-faced. Like 1 year, okay, 1 year.
We just don't know what we're gonna get out.
So they got 2 guys that kind of fit that style, that bruiser and that sprinter guy, and that's where they went with in Asian guys, or should I say, question mark guys.
Right.
So it works there. I just didn't get it in Cleveland.
I didn't
because Nick Chubb probably would have came back on a short money deal. The guy's already squatting 650. So you know what I'm saying? So
Right,
obviously
right.
the injury isn't as
He's
much a
okay.
concern.
Right.
Yeah. So like between Detroit and Cleveland, I was kind of thrown for a loop. I like what my Patriots did. I'm not gonna, I don't want to dive too much. I think they get if everything shakes out. I think they did well.
You guys are building something special. I like the way the team is being built. 100%. I like how you guys are trying to get Drake made weapons and protect them at the same time. I love what you guys are doing.
Hey,
Of course you're in my division, so I hate you, but I love what you're doing.
the way I look at it is they're not rushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that they are doing it the right way, building it on in the trenches, getting pieces for the kid to kind of be able to expand and grow. I'm with it. If one of these wide receivers from last season hits, we're cooking. We're actually cooking because I love the Travion Henderson pick. I think that's pairing the home run hitter with the bruiser in Ramondre. I think that's beautiful for this year. Then next year, let Henderson be the guy. You know what I'm saying? I love Kyle Williams. I want to see where he's going to line up. Is he going to play in the slot? Is he going to play on the outside? Draws. Not that I think Stephon Diggs is going to get doubled, but maybe Diggs draws the 2 now instead of the the DB1 with Kyle Williams being out there.
Right. And that's trouble if he does.
Yeah,
He'll produce.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Oh yeah,
playing in the division against Buffalo.
Oh, he's gonna kill us, bro. That's why we went corner heavy, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited, but I don't want to get too excited too early. You know what I mean?
I've been in the right way, and you guys got a grinder a head coach now. No disrespect to your old coach. So I know we talked about teams with best overall draft and our least favorite overall drafts. But what was your favorite pick? A pick that really made you like, I really like this pick. One individual pick.
I'm gonna give you a sentimental pick because of the guys here at CFB Nation, and then I'll give you a 2-part.
Okay.
I like these guys. So Rayvon Love, safety out of Navy. Getting drafted, 4th Navy kid drafted in the last 11 years, first defensive guy since 1993. Like
that's impressive.
Yeah, with Boomer and Dino being in the services, it was nice to see the kid get picked. And we saw him down in Mobile. He was one of the late invites, but he was down there. He did his thing down there. So like it was nice to see that as like kind of pulling on the hot strings type pick. DJ
Shout out to the
Giddens.
Senior Bowl too.
Yeah, Senior Bowl. Hey, listen, Nagy's the guy. He's moved on, going to Oklahoma. But Molly, and they just brought in a new director of operations. I think they're going to hit the ground running. I think that the Senior Bowl there's not going to be any speed bumps or hiccups in the road. I think they're just going to keep picking up with what Nagy laid down, as the game plan. So, but I like DJ Giddens to Indy. Jonathan Taylor's that guy. But you want gives you that Travion Henderson type guy, like that explosive. Give me one cut and I could go to the cribbo. I can also be that guy that can catch passes out. So like if they have to go on a 2-back set or they have to sub out Jonathan Taylor because he has been injured, recent history. I think DJ Giddens could have. And in that room, there really is not much competition, right? They've drafted a back years. Evan Hall 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So like they've gotten guy, but I think DJ Giddens could be an instant.
I couldn't believe he fell like that.
He's scouting helmets, baby. He's scouting helmets, not scouting plays. You know what I mean? And then here's another one. Now this goes against consensus. But I think this kid, and it's probably rare, that a 6th or 7th round quarterback could be a starting quarterback.
Yo, I know who you're about to say. You've read my
Quinn Ewers might be wearing
100%
the QB1 for the Dolphins week 1. There's a chance that he could win this job. Everything I see, Tua's out of shape. He's out there dancing around.
I've sort of
partying
stuff. Yep.
Hey, and to each their own. But we know that we've had issues with Tua. When Tyreek Hill is asked just last week or this week who his top 5 quarterbacks that he would like to catch passes from are, and Tua's not in any of that conversation. Not that Tua's a top 5 quarterback, but that's also brewing something in your locker room.
Your quarterback should, whether you feel it or not, your quarterback should have been listed in that top
Got
5.
Jalen Ramsey trade rumors out there. There's a lot of things, a lot of open pots out there.
My thought process is yours plays quite a few games this year.
If he's not playing early, I think week 6 or 7 with that team's identity. I don't even know if they have an identity. I think they're going to be defensive. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out that run game and get back to where they were like 2 years ago.
And a creative head coach too. Very creative
with that offense and that style of play where he don't have to throw the ball deep. You getting your guys in motion, getting your guys in slots. It's like how Tua was successful 2 years ago. Quinn Ewers can do that all day, every day, bro. You want a game manager? You can get Brock Purdy out of Quinn Ewers all day. And I think with those receivers, Waddle, Hill, Jonnu Smith at the tight end position, right? And they have all the speed in that backfield. I think Quinn Ewers might be a very sooner than later replacement for Tua Tagovailoa. And the fact that he was a 7th round pick is mind blowing to me.
Yeah, he's definitely got the Brock Purdy thing going on for sure. What was your least favorite pick? Your
Dylan Sampson. I hated it. I absolutely, for the reason like this is a talented kid that could have went to many other. I think when this kid got picked, he was happy to just get picked, but in the back of his head is like, why? You know what I mean? Why? Like why pick me here, knowing that you already have 3 backs on your team? Right. You drafted a kid from down the road. He's obviously going to be the one. It's an insurance policy, probably. But, like, now this kid could have went to another team and been with a chance to fight for an RB1 position.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I hated the Dylan Sampson pick. And I don't like the Riley Leonard pick at going to Indy. Like, you already got, White Vic over there. You got Anthony Richardson. Like, are we – if that – doesn't work with these 2 guys, why do we keep going with the same script?
Right.
Like, do something. Go get. You had success with a traditional quarterback when it was Joe. So why wouldn't you have drafted a traditional pocket quarterback if the 2 mobile, whatever you want to call them, guys aren't working? Right. Like, they're just putting another log on the fire and hoping that the fire burns out. It doesn't make any sense to me. I thought that the Riley Leonard pick to Indy was kind of and like I said, the Dylan, I hated the Dylan Sampson pick. I
think Riley Leonard is another one of those quarterbacks who gets ample playing time this season.
He could, but he's got injury history too. So it's like
he does.
You got 3 quarterbacks, similar style of play, similar injury history. That's why another reason why I love DJ Giddens. I feel like this dude could get a lot of
touches.
Yeah, a lot of manufactured touches for him. So those guys are who I really like.
What was the draft pick that, based on the team that picked him up, you think was the best overall fit?
You think, yeah. In the first round or
whatever. In general, wherever. First, it could be anywhere.
I think the Jalen Walker pick to Atlanta was just – they've been struggling to find a linebacker. Like that guy for a minute, right? The gentleman that was – he plays in Cleveland now. He was in Atlanta for a cup of coffee. He played at LSU. Me and Boomer go back and forth, but he tells me he's a flash of pan. But every year he's healthy. He's had 100 tackles. They've tried for year after year to go.
Talking about Deion Jones?
Yes.
Deion Jones?
Yeah. When he's healthy, he's a dude. Yeah, but it's like every other year.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, they've tried in free agency last 2-3 years. I mean, I know Moon will attest to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Jalen Walker pick is just perfect fit for them. Someone else that I really like, it fits them because of the style of play with Baker Mayfield, but they kind of had that guy in McMillan. Emeka Egbuka, I think, eats year one. I think he has better production year one than Smith and Jigba did year one in Seattle. But I think in that slot role, especially with Evans and Godwin back, I just feel like he's going to be so open. His skill set that he's going to bring. Baker loves tight ends, right? We saw that with Otten kind of come up in the last. So that short and intermediate game, Emeka Egbuka is just made for that system. Like, he's going to get a shit ton of targets. there's a chance that he could be the top wide receiver in year one, just because of what I think he could get Pepper, even with all that talent in the room.
The pick for me was when Dallas Cowboys selected Donovan Ezekuru. It's like
As
the
a rock
moment they
group.
picked him.
Yeah.
Yeah. The moment they picked him. Yeah, here we go. Yep, I see it already. He's gonna make plays year one.
Oh yeah, the way they he even said it, like he credited Boston College's coaching staff this year, like the way that they lined him up and put him in different positions and options on how he had to win, got him to be able to be versatile, for the next level. So yeah, I was gassed. I was pissed he fell out of the first. I thought he deserved to be a first round pick, and I had been saying that for a minute. Like he wasn't. He was a top 3 edge in college football, and he wasn't 3. But
for sure,
the fact that he got picked, top of the second round, I was pleased.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I think we have one more question now. Who will be the first pick of the 2026 NFL draft?
Lenore Sellers. Lenore Sellers will be the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft, and I'm with Todd McShay 1,000%. When he's at his best, he's got a lot to learn. There are mistakes he makes, and he is, kind of shoddy with his footwork in the pocket when sometimes when the pressure is coming. But when he is at his best is better than anybody else's best in this quarterback class. Anybody else. Arch Manning ain't ready to kind of go toe-to-toe with Lenore Sellers when it comes to what they got for best.
I think Arch Manning is on a 2-year plan in Austin.
I've been saying that for how long? I told you he was on the Eli Manning plan, right?
Yep.
Sit 2 seasons, right? Play a year, get comfortable, go out on year 4, go and get a Heisman, right? Don't be the first round. I dictate where I go. I don't need daddy to dictate where I go.
Right. For sure. I love that. Lenore Sellers. You guys can book it.
When South Carolina's top 10, top 5 team this year, when they're in the college football playoff, it will be because of him. If he cleans up the mental errors and some of the overthrows, I think that will happen this year for the simple fact that Nick Harbor has stepped away from track. He's fully focused on football. They can get a better rapport with each other. You're talking about a kid that 5-star freak athlete that was a tight. They didn't know where to play this kid for 2 years. They were tight end, wide receiver, slot receiver, outside. What do we do? But they kind of figured out by the end of last season. I think he kind of figured out that his place is football. I think if, like I said, he cleans up his game. The sky's the limit for Lenore Sellers. I mean, I hate to make these comps, but it's there's a gentleman that played at Auburn that went buck wild in the year, and his draft stock went through the roof. Yeah. You might be getting a Cam Newton type season out of Lenore Sellers this year, and if that happens, bro, he's going to be the first quarterback, first player chosen off the board.
That is incredible. I love that take. Into the news, Trevor Pena has landed with Penn State Nittany Lions, and hopefully he could be that wide receiver that Drew Allar has really needed since he's been in Happy Valley. How you feeling about this? How you like the placement? Of course, we heard what Fran Brown had to say prior to this, that it's one receiver that he would get that type of money to, and that
$2 million goes to a little homie up the road. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, winners get washed, right?
I love Fran Brown.
Shout out Fran Brown signing up, and I don't know what it is. It's not an NIL deal. He signs. He got a deal, an endorsement deal.
Did he?
It's him to build his brand outside of football to help build the brand inside of football. So, whatever Fran got to do, but he cooking. So let Fran cook. As far as Trevor Pena being the best wide receiver that Drew Allar's had, I don't know. If we go by talent-wise, stepping into the room, probably not. Julian Fleming was a better talented receiver coming out of high school than. I didn't want to go this route, but I had to kind of go this route when I started looking. You show me the dude, especially a $2 million dude, with a breakout age of wide receiver of 22. That's been that guy. I mean, because recency, we're looking at Roman Wilson, a couple crickets, Xavier Legette,
a
couple crickets. I mean, a guy that's had one hit year and breaking out at the age of 22 out here, and I get why he did it, right? I get it. Like he didn't have faith in that room or in that schedule, so his draft stock could take a hit. But I mean, you go into a style of quarterback that's similar to the quarterback you had before. I think Drew Allar and Kyle McCord, right? They're kind of similar. But problem is, homie, is Penn State's a two-headed running back monster.
It is.
I don't necessarily think that you're going to be getting or going to be able to demand, 108 targets.
Right.
I don't necessarily think that you're going to be able to get 80-something receptions. A thing that kind of sticks out to me is he's a guy that does things with the ball in his hand, right? So is he going to replace his Tyler Warren role? Like he's going to be the slot receiver, right? Because I think Kyron Hudson is going to be the one. That deep play guy, right?
I agree with you there.
And a lot of people might be sleeping on Devontae Ross, but this is a 1,000-yard receiver, right? I know he's coming from
Detroit, right?
Detroit, right? But it's the Sun Belt Conference, right? And he's taking that step, but he didn't call Penn State. Penn State called him,
right?
Okay, I'm pretty sure Trevor Pena might have to make his phone call in that late portal. Hey, how you guys doing? You got an opening for me? Right? Would you be interested in my services? I might be wrong, but it seems that might have been how this kind of went. 1.17 yards per route run means that if this guy don't get the ball early, he's a non-factor.
That's a hell of a stat.
The Tyler Warren thing, Tyler Warren lined up in the slot the most 200-something snaps in the slot. The next guy behind him was 189, but he had 18 receptions. So that slot role is going to be pretty much Pena's. But Pena can't play in the Wildcat. I don't know if Pena's after the catch ability is as good as Tyler Warren's was,
right?
For that matter. And like I said, they targeted two big receivers in the portal. I don't know if this was the best decision for Trevor Pena. I don't even know that. Let me go and check it. I don't know that he can. I don't think he gets 9 touchdowns on 900 yards. I don't think he replicates the. I think he probably gets somewhere around 5 to 6 touch. It's good. The running game is priority number one, right? It's defense, run the ball, and then the passing game will fall in from there.
Right.
That's what we've seen for how many years now? Not just through Drew Allar, through multiple
we've
quarterbacks.
Seen it for multiple quarterbacks, Clifford, multiple coordinators,
right? Like this is what they've been doing for what Franklin wants to run out there. They can change the coordinator, but the scheme seems to be similar. I don't.
If they want to make that jump, they're gonna have to open up the playbook. And this isn't an Edney Nicky issue. This is a James Franklin issue. Buddy,
James Franklin.
The Buddy is so scared to go out and grab it. Like, because I feel like Andy Nicky drafted up some really good plays against Notre Dame and Drew Allar. I mean, it is what he was off. Like, there were some throws. He was just 100% off. He didn't look like himself in that game. And part of that's what a really good defense is going to do. But Penn State running out of excuses, brother. Best coordinators in the country are in Happy Valley.
Here's my other thing: is when you ask. I know you're a quarterback and you're the guy, but when you ask a quarterback to throw minimal passes because you're a running team,
right?
And then they decide somehow at halftime that they're gonna they figured you the fuck out, right? And we're going to shut the run game down. Hey, now I need you to go save us. You haven't thrown a pass in 25 minutes of necessity, past 20 yards. Now I need you to get out there and go 25 for 30 and 260 and 3 touchdowns in the second half.
There's no rhythm.
Right. Exactly. He hasn't gotten rhythm with his receivers, right? He's not warm. Yeah, he ain't cooked. Oh, now I
think I seen him do it once. Was that versus USC last year? When they got down early, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know Penn State could win games like this. And this is when I started to believe, but why we got to wait to halftime and we down and now we lose.
Why can't we score the points through the air early and then with the ground game, take you home, bro? Like how the modern NFL is now, right? It's not. Sure. We don't rely on the run game to have the pass game be a secondary issue. It's They pass the ball, spread them out, make him get tired, concerned. Where's this gap? Where's this hole? I got the shit. Then he just ran one out. He counted me. He went with a sweep for 47 yards. Shit, I had nobody in the A gap because he spread me out for a quarter and a half. Right, like let's catch up to the times here. You know what I mean? Like let's get a little bit better at adapting, adjusting. That's been a word for me with coaches that I've hated, that they just don't adjust. They're complacent. I'm going to live and die like my Celtics, like they did yesterday, live and die by the 3, right? I'm going to live and die by my scheme and my way because it's my way and that's it. Then why bring in these dudes? Dabo had to learn. He knelt on the sword too many years, right? For him, like, now I'll let Garrett do a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm tired of getting jabbed in the stomach with the sword.
I'm buying more and more stock into that team. I'm about to do a top 25 soon, and I'm about ready. I'm
top 5.
I'm for sure. I'm there with top 5.
But I'm gonna tell you again, like I said a little while ago, Cade's best ain't as good as Lenore Sell's best.
No, it isn't. I agree with that. I
think if it comes to best on the table, it's Lenore's, Nussmeier, Klubnik, Allar. And that's the way I look at it right now. And people say like Corbin Smith, shout out Corbin with a comment. He said Arch Manning would be the first. But I just don't think he's shown enough. What he's shown me the most is he can run.
That's why I thought it was fair when Greg McElroy didn't even include him in his top 10 because he just don't have enough snaps.
I don't think Todd McShay did either in his top 10.
He shouldn't. Shout out to them. Speaking of that Celtics game, yo, I turned from it. You guys were up 20. I was like, well, let me
25, bro.
Y'all were 25. Like, I looked at it. I said, oh, yeah, Celtics won this game. Let me put on Clat. I was watching Clat. And Jalen texts my phone. She's like, now I see why everybody hate Jason Tatum. I'm like, the fuck is he talking about? I turned to the game and see what the fuck's going on. Like, I had no clue. Because I always be like, yo, why people hate Jason Tatum so much? Like, it maybe you guys can explain it better than me as a Celtics fan, but I don't get it.
I don't. I still don't understand why people hate Jason Tatum so much.
Like, he's the most hated player, like, in a very long time.
Does what everybody wants their number one guy to
I don't get it.
Maybe he should be cocky. Maybe he should just be that arrogant dude. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I'm going to tell you what happened. This is it. It's going to be 4 straight for the Celtics. The Knicks blew their nut in this game. That's all they got. They don't. I'm sorry, New York fans. You don't even deserve to be on the same court as the Celtics. Nobody in the Eastern Conference deserves to be on the same court.
I agree with that.
They don't. You can't line up. Your starting 5 can't even match. There ain't a starting 6 in the Eastern Conference that can match with the Celtics. Fully healthy, go y'all take a nap. But that's just the way it is now. We go to the West. We got a different talk. But New York came out with fire. Probably want to prove something. And that's fine. That's fine. Caught a snap. Caught a slacking. Cool. If Jason Tatum wants to beat that dude, then this is going to light that fire in his ass. Not what they're talking. Not what the people are talking about. Not what the ESPN had to talk. The fact that you let up a 20-point lead. You're supposed to be. You're the best team in that. Not seed-wise. You're the best team in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. You let a team that tried to build a team is. Anybody with Karl Anthony Towns on their team don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But soft baby shit.
He's always been that way.
He ain't got it, bro. Like Jalen Brunson has enough. He ain't got enough. He got enough, but not enough to carry that whole team.
Yeah, he don't have enough help because there was times in the Pistons series. I'm like, this Pistons team might be better than this Knicks team. Just watch.
Celtics has run the Pistons teams out in 4 by like 25 a game.
Yeah, no.
We beat them by 20 points a game in the 4 games we played them in the regular season.
Yeah, the Knicks don't match out. That's why I was so like when I saw the score, I'm like, I'm not surprised. They just don't match. They just don't match themselves.
They played physical ball in the second half. Got us all, and we missed the most 3-pointers in NBA history. It doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
So you live and die by the 3. And when they score, 60 in the first quarter and a half tomorrow, then everything will be crickets again.
Yeah, everybody be shut up again. But when you win in Boston for some reason, that's just always won. It comes with a lot of hate, man.
Yeah, I'm used to it. A lot of parades out here in Boston.
So there was a topic that came up last week. I actually touched on it this past week as well. That we saw quite a few players that entered the 2025 NFL draft lose money by entering the NFL draft instead of opting to play another year in college. And I wanted to do kind of an editorial piece on whether it's joining the NFL as soon as you can still the best move for long term, financially, or college players staying one more year in college beneficial for now. Also, to add to that, before you go ahead, also our agents being 100% truthful with their clients about where their landing spot is.
The latter part, I think bullshit. It's bullshit. I don't think they are being, because just look at my guy Will Levis. People don't go there in the first round thinking that they're not going to get picked in the first round. Like, you get the invite, right? Jackson Dott's like, I don't know if my agent's being true. I'm going to stay the fuck home, and he went in the first round, right? But like, I don't know if these agents are being 100% truthful with them. I think it's more of like maybe gaslighting for their benefit, right? And then they get them there. Maybe they can pull some strings or whatever it may be, build up the smoke and the hype for them. And then somebody jumps up and actually takes them when he's not really, the guys that are in that top 50, I think some of these guys are getting lied to. The bull getting pulled over their eyes, and they get made to look like that. What was his name? The Texas player. He was in Green Bay in the draft for 3 straight days, waiting for his name to be called. It was the first time someone got walked the stage in the 3rd round or something like that. They said,
really, that is crazy.
Yeah, Byron Sorrell. Well, I think they said that Texas player was the first time someone walked the stage. I think he was pick 100 or something. Like, wow, ever. That's
hard. That's heartbreaking. Huh?
You know what I mean? Like, he wanted to just hear his name called, so he stood. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't trust agents. I think it's why a lot of people represent themselves with family.
Right. Like Lamar Jackson did.
Yeah.
And they save on that, it's the agent tax, right?
Yeah.
That they're able to save
on.
on.
Duke's going to get something special out of it.
Right.
House, whatever it may be, that'll be the tax. But
yeah, keep the money all in the family.
That's it. As far as losing money and all this, I'm tired of this reneging on shit we say. We bitch and freaking complain that these kids are playing college football for too damn long, right? How long are you going to play football? How long? Enough's enough. 4, 5, 6. And then the kid says, okay, I'm going to go try to live my dream. What I've done was I played Pee-wee, Falcon football. Right. As a 6, 7-year-old kid, is to play in the NFL. I'm tired of hearing everybody bitch that, I've been in college for 5 years. Then he's stupid. He could have got $6 million if he would have stayed in the league. Now he's a 7th round back pick, as in with the Quinn Ewers example.
Quinn Ewers situation, right?
The one to play in the NFL, wanted to be an NFL quarterback. Hey, and he could turn around and drop his pants at you and moon your ass when he's a starting quarterback for Miami Dolphins, right? And
that second contract comes
going to be the bag, right?
Right.
To some people, like, we don't know what Quinn Ewers has made through whatever he's done in college. He could probably comfortably set. Like, he's probably good now. Now it's his chance to focus on playing football. All right. Now I'm gonna go get a starting job, and then go like. I just don't get it. We complain that these guys play forever, and then we go and turn around and just bitch. Like, are we ever gonna be happy?
No.
Like, when is it okay for what these kids do? And first of all, it's their freaking life. Let them live their life. Who the hell are we? A Monday morning couch quarterbacks. In reality, that's what we are. We live vicariously through these dudes. That's why we get so pissed off. You know what I mean? Why we get, you did something stupid. But you can't, homie. You ain't got the talent or the skill set to even put that fucking jock strap on. You know what I mean? But you're going to say, you would have did this. If you would have did that, if you would have not went out and partied on a Thursday night and got drunk when you were in high school, maybe you would have had a chance to be a football player. But guess what? Quinn Ewers didn't. Quinn Ewers went out and all these other guys that got drafted late that might have been hired. These guys went out and gave up how many memories in high school and college, things that they could have had in their back pocket to go train and better than, your son was partying on the lake and doing this and that. This guy was out training with NFL, whatever trainers, and these guys who have played, they're giving up their childhood somewhere.
They are.
To go be professionals. And he wants to live that dream. And you, the guy who packs boxes for fucking Amazon, think you've earned the right to say what this guy can do? Bro, go crack that Budweiser, sit back on your fucking couch, and watch that guy go play football, bro.
I love it. That's a fantastic take. I love it. We heard a lot of people talk about this, especially with Quinn Ewers, because if he did enter the portal, he probably got somewhere around 8 million. My dog wants to say hello, everyone. He got somewhere around 8 million. Of course, if Shador prob I don't think it'll probably been best if Shador did decide to stay. I don't think it'd been best for him to stay in Colorado. I think it'd been best for him to go elsewhere and have somebody else coach him. But the long term goal, the dream has always been NFL. When we're kids, we don't say, "Hey man, I want to make it to college football." Like you said, I want to
Right.
make it to the NFL. I want to make it to the NBA. If you play hockey, I want to make it to the NHL. You want to make
Yeah.
it to the professional leagues. And like you say, a lot of people renege on what they say based on. And part of the problem that I have with a lot of people, they don't watch college football, bro. We actually watch college football. There's a difference between people who watch college football and then people who prep for NFL draft or watch these kids in retrospect, or they seen somebody say something cool on TikTok and then repeating it. When you watch college football, it's different. It's 100% different.
Like I said, I don't know where we as fans, not
Mhm.
per se me and you, but a fan base,
Yeah,
like to say
fandom.
whatever. Guess what? You didn't buy no ticket for that kid yet. You
You
know what
did.
I'm saying? Like you got no investment. And if you did have an investment in him at Texas, then I probably think that you would have something different to say about his decision and what he did. Because with his time at Texas, I'm pretty sure he put you guys in a position to be a winner.
You did.
But when he wasn't in there, he didn't really win as many games as you hoped for, right? Like, yeah, Arch won your game, or I think it was one game out of the two, right? That Arch played when Quinn was
Mhm.
out. But
The
we all
fandom.
know what happened with Malik Murphy.
Oh yeah,
Smoke screen happened there, right? So
he's still the head scratching move of the offseason for me.
yeah, it's
It
just
still doesn't make sense.
I, I think we need to let these kids live their life, let these kids make their decisions and what they want to do. Like you said, like, well, if you said to your kid, your grandson or great grandson,
Mm.
I played 3 years of NFL ball, or you said I played 7 years of college football, which one you think they'd be like, oh wow,
Right,
grandpa,
right. You're not gonna move him with the college football. Yeah,
what
you
team was
just
that? Alcorn State. What? Oh, you played for the Raiders, Papa? You was a
yeah,
backer. You saw this guy. You played with that. That's all that
right,
matters, bro.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Your legacy lives on at the highest level. Your
Mhm.
legacy ain't living on
Uh,
at the second stage.
nah, you much rather be a Dallas Cart than a Cam McCormick. You will much rather be
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
In other news, Penn State did have a spring game, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And you all, you can give me your takeaways on where the program is currently. But also, there was a tense moment between James Franklin and a fan. The fan called James Franklin a fraud, and Franklin told him we can talk about it after the game. He wasn't happy at all. Should Franklin have responded to this guy at all?
No.
No, I gave you a lot there. Yeah.
No, he shouldn't have. And I think it's a culmination of what you and multiple people have been saying. What has he fucking done to deserve all this credit? Right?
Yeah.
And now they keep putting the pieces in play for him, and he can't get over that hump. So it's like, at what point do you have to answer for your actions, homie? Because Drew Allar's answering for his actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're putting this guy, dragging him over hot coals. He just he puts his helmet on and goes to work, doing his thing. My fault. I got to get better.
Mm.
You tell him, fan, you could see me outside. It would have
Right.
been a bad day for you if you saw that guy outside and he whooped the shit out of you, like his Big Ten team's been whooping the shit out of you when shit matters, right?
Yeah, he don't show that much fight as a coach. But now he gangster, man.
They're
Penn State
gonna
has the
whoop his
easiest
bald head
path.
around like a freaking pool stick.
They had the easiest path to the championship last year. Easiest. When we looked at the brackets, we said, okay, Penn State, if you guys are gonna do something, you're gonna do it now.
I told you I was a believer, and
Yeah.
you were a believer.
I would believe it.
Me
Yeah, I
and
picked
you.
them to win it all.
I thought they would be there in the end, and then once we started watching it, I had questions, and I thought
Mhm.
there was too many holes in the Swiss cheese for them. I
Right,
just didn't think they
right.
could put it all together. I told you that they had to rely on that defense, and it was too much relying on that
It
defense.
is.
Certain times when they needed that run game to show up, it kind of was anemic. And then there was games they would just ball out. But as far as the spring game, these are farce, bro. All these spring games are a farce. But I kind of look at like the young bucks, the guys that I can
Right.
kind of take something away for. I'll tell you something. That true freshman cornerback, Darius Dixon.
Mhm.
Ooh, boy, you come away in a spring game when everybody's kind of playing in front in the secondary. Nobody was injured. Everybody's out. and you got 3 pass breakups and almost took one away from Allar. Yeah, you're going to get my attention. Yeah, he going to be one of that. He going to be he a needle in a haystack, bro. You find him, you got a gem. But I think this kid's going to be something. Dennis Sutton didn't really play. He's chilling. I got that injury, so they didn't want to put him out there. So defensively, it was what it was. But we saw a little Allar, right? I thought Jackson Smollett looked good, right? He was injured early on last season. So seeing him healthy playing, knowing that, it's just him and Grunkmeyer to be maybe the guy next year, which one's going to kind of be the dude. Was nice to see him again. Wasn't showing too much in the receiving room, but Devontae Ross, like we spoke about, he seemed to be the guy taking the top off the ball when they were throwing the ball deep. He seemed to be the guy. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, big void. I think, and when we get back to Pena, I said that slot role, right, that Warren had, they got the number 1 tight end in the 24 class in Reynolds. There's a lot going on there, and he from what we've seen, he's going to be involved in this offense early and often. I don't know if Trevor Pena is going to get everything that he was hoping for in this offense. We're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. They have a deep room with Smith and Quentin Martin Jr. And obviously, Singleton and Katron Allen as being the dogs up front. But, yeah, same old is what I pretty much got from this spring game out of Penn State. And they were vanilla. They didn't want to give you too much to show. James Franklin, you are a fraud. Truth hurts. That's why you wanted to fight this young fan in the parking lot, my friend. But a lot. I got a question. Who has more pressure? Drew Allar or Nicholas Singleton?
You said more pressure?
Yeah.
Drew Allar.
You sure?
Yeah.
Who's the number 1 running back in the class?
Nick Singleton.
Who's the number 1 quarterback? Ain't nobody saying Drew Allar.
Nobody saying Drew. Nobody say Drew Allar. And I agree. The reason I don't think he has as much pressure is because he does have a partner in crime, and one hell of a partner in crime in Katron Allen. But if they are going to win a national championship, because they have you look at the roster. Let's take James Franklin away. Let's take the uniforms away, and you just put this team in a Columbus. You put this team in Athens, Georgia. You say this is a championship level team. So I think the quarterback has more pressure. I truly believe that. Only because Nick Singleton has a partner in crime in Katron Allen.
A partner in crime. Okay. And you said he's still RB1 with the partner in crime. But I'm going to follow trends. Freshman year, balled out.
He did.
Houdini as a sophomore.
Oh, absolutely. He let it
Junior year, balled out.
Uh-oh.
But I'm following the trends here.
Right.
We all know they're going to stack the box. Right? They're going to make Drew Allar beat them.
They're going to make them throw.
Make Frank Franklin say, we're going to have to throw it 50-50. Like, we have to. So they're going to see some stacked boxes in Singleton. I only say this because all of a sudden in the last 2-3 years in this NFL drafts, we're seeing running backs drafted in the first round.
They're starting to creep, but they're starting to be relevant again.
Position is starting to be relevant again.
Right.
So if this bread and butter is the run game, he's RB1. I think right now there's more pressure on Drew Allar because I don't think enough people are looking at it right now to be like, oh shit, like he's the top guy.
Yeah, he's got to perform.
He kind of needs. He's had a Katy Perry hot and cold already set up.
Yes.
We need.
Travion Henderson did the same
what
exact thing as well.
If Allen has a better year? He could drop out of the top 3 as a running back.
He could, because there's been times I looked and I said, Katron Allen might be the best back.
You see what I'm saying?
On this team, yeah.
There's quiet pressure on Nicholas Singleton, but nobody saw it.
You're right. You're 100% correct. Penn State, the reason the time is now, I'm making a call out to Penn State, simply because they got Jim Knowles at defensive coordinator, bro. You got the best coordinators in the country. Jim Knowles is coming off of a championship run as defensive coordinator for Ohio State, bro. The excuses are up for James Franklin.
Yeah.
They're 100% up. And imagine if they don't make the playoff this year, what that fan base would do.
And they got 4 returning starters on the offensive line.
They do.
And they're seniors. So it's like next year, bro, there's a lot. New running back, 2 new running backs, a whole new wide receiver room. Oh, first-year starting quarterback probably going to be between Grunkemeyer or Smolik. And you're looking at replacing at least 3 of the 4 that – why do you think they got Jim Knowles? Because they know for the next foreseeable 3 to 4 years, it's going to be defense priority number 1. We just got to keep it under 16. If they don't score 16, we in the game.
We have a chance. When are the boosters are going to say enough is enough? We want to coach. We want to.
This is the year. This is the year where enough's enough. If they don't get it deep into the make a.
It has to be a deep playoff run. I agree with you. It can't just be making the playoff.
Got to at least win one or be in it late in that second game.
Right.
Then I think Franklin got to go because, again, I don't know why he even got the job. Like, I don't think he ain't nothing he done to deserve that job, in my opinion.
So I did a segment earlier. It was like a 2025 hot seat watch. Who do you think will be the first coach fired this upcoming year?
Oh, let's bring up the early AP poll. Let's see. Let me see.
I have a guy that all of us didn't like to hire that I think may be the first coach fired this year. The only thing that scares me is that they're a surprise team in the Big 12 every year. That's the only thing that surprises that scares me.
Yeah, you go.
Scott Satterfield, I think, may be the first coach fired, and then the coach at Kent State might get fired this year too. He could be an early season fire as well. But at the Power 4 level, I think Scott Satterfield may be the first coach fired. Sam Pittman is on the watch as well, and I ain't even talk about him today. But he's on that list as well of coaches that can possibly get fired. Where you at with Brent Venables?
Oh, he's on a hot seat for me, dude.
They did something, and this is a theory you've always talked about. You go get a hot shot offensive coordinator that could have been a head coaching candidate, because what he did in Pullman last year was crazy. And Ben Arbuckle, there's your air raid. Yeah, he got his quarterback. There goes your air raid. There goes your Lincoln Riley protege right there. I'm worried for Brent Venables. They have a damn good team. You look at the roster. The roster is amazing, but that schedule is rough, bro.
Why do I want to say
Mike Locksley is on that list as well? Merlin's head coach. They went 4-8 last year. Looked like Malik Washington may be the starting quarterback in College Park this year. I think they do have winnable games. They play 7 home games this year.
I know they win. I think Illinois is going to. I saw a thing, and I think she hit it on the head. Illinois is the Indiana of this year.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
I think with all the return to production, the quarterback, the whole offensive line is back. They got some running backs in that scheme. The defense is, I think, what they're building
in a favorable schedule, bro.
Yeah, they avoid Oregon, they avoid Penn State. Yeah, I love it. Listen, and this is going to be an oddball coach, and I think he's on a hot seat. Nobody's kind of really talking about him, but he hasn't really. The regular season wins are cool. But you ain't done it. And I think if you don't do it this year, he's probably going to walk. I think Chris Kleinman.
That's a hell of a take, bro.
Bro, 8-5, 10-4, 9-4, 9-4. But, like, you're 500 in your conference, right? You were tied for 8th last season. You're winning bowl games barely. But if you don't win and Avery Johnson takes off, what do you got? You're sitting there holding it in the mirror, putting on lipstick, nothing to show for it. Like,
lost a damn good offensive coordinator the year before in Colin Klein, who played at Kansas State, and I didn't think he'd be ready to lead the Big Apple, but greener pastures in the SEC.
I got another one, and I don't know if it's a hot seat enough for him to get fired. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. The water gonna get hotter than fucking lukewarm if they don't win 8 games. Your boy's on a hot seat in my mind. Josh Heupel. You want to poke the fucking bear? I've been saying this for a little bit now. This story gonna come out. It ain't all Nico's fault.
No, it's not.
Sometime, somewhere along the line, Heupel got to take some ownership for this shit too. And then you wanted to play that kind of just. Tino
Sinceri. was a huge reason why Curtis Rourke was so successful in Indiana last year. He put a fast-paced system together. They used the width of the field, they used the length of the field, and I think even though Mike Shanahan they were co-coordinators, Tino Sinceri was the passing game coordinator in Indiana last year. So I think in that system with Nico, do not be surprised if UCLA go bowling this year, and don't be surprised they end up winning somewhere around 7 games this year too.
I think they go bowling. I think, yeah. And then when people are saying, is it going to be, does Joey have a better, what? What? Come on, bro. If UCLA wins more games than Tennessee,
which is possible, it's 100% possible.
The people with the money are going to be talking like I'm talking and saying, "Ew, we need to have a conversation, my friend. What did you do, and why is he gone?"
Is Tennessee in your top 25 right now? If you had to do one, I know I'm putting you on the spot. If you had to do a top 25 right now, would Tennessee be in your top 25?
No.
They wouldn't be in mine either. Thank you. They wouldn't be in mine either.
No, with the loss of Nico,
they lost a lot of production. And
they lost a lot of defensive production.
And we've watched Joey Aguilar.
Maybe at the bottom end, maybe 24, 25. But I think with Nico returning, they will bottom half of like the top 20.
I agree with that as well.
So yeah, I nobody's talking about it.
They're not.
I think that
I love your take though.
both of those coaches could be on a hot seat. Obviously, we talked about Sam Pittman. His days are numbered.
Right.
I'm trying to think of somebody else out who could possibly be on a hot seat. Another one that might not be something that people talk about. When I said it before, and I'll say it again, it's been a lot of revolving door in College Station.
It has.
He let the 5-star guy go for Marcel Reed, right? He let Wegman go to Houston for Marcel Reed. He's brought in a shit ton of wide receivers.
Wegman
some have
is
stayed,
going to light
some
it up
have
with
gone.
Willie First this year.
What's that?
Wegman's going to light it up this year. He's going to effing light it up. They can be a sneaky team. They can be a sneaky team in the Big 12. It's always one every year that surprises us.
They have a nice schedule. They
do.
got a nice schedule. I think if Texas A&M has another subpar year, he might not be, hey, you're fired, but the burn is on. And
people in Durham can't stand Mike Elko. Can't stand him.
The way he left, they hate it, right?
Yeah.
And then you're starting out in College Station with the same bad taste that they've had for the past couple of seasons. Ain't nothing changed. Then we got to park your ticket for the next guy to come in.
All right.
I think that this is not a make or break, but this is we might need to be having a conversation if this gentleman can't get to the over 7 victories.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting in the College Station. I agree with you because the competition is only getting tougher in the SEC. But Tennessee is not in my top 25, and I'm worried about them. If they lose week 1 to Fran Brown, I'm really worried about them.
Yeah,
because they got Georgia 2 weeks after that.
Who else? Who was the other guy? Oh yeah, your boy over there out in SEC.
What about Jeff Lebby? Where you at with Jeff Lebby? I'm rooting for him.
I'm rooting for him. He walked into a shitty situation of lie, betrayal, and all this shit.
Yeah.
I don't know that he played the role year 1 the best way either.
No, he didn't.
But I think they're searching for something to change a little bit, and they're willing to give him a little bit of time on the leash. There
needs to be a movie made about that year after the sudden passing of Michael Leach. There needs to be a movie made about that time period, and poor Will.
Who's the head coach?
What was that guy name? Yeah, he lied to Will Rogers' family.
Sean Atkins? No. It's I forget. He only lasted 1 year. But I'm going to give you another name that I think nobody else is talking about. And I think because of the way he handled the quarterback situation. And
Zach Arnett.
Zach Arnett. And if they can't improve or mimic what they did last season, and they are outside of the top 25 and aren't in the top 3 of the ACC, we might be having a conversation about Rhett Lashley.
Ooh.
I think that quarterback situation left a bad taste in a lot of the faithful's mouth.
I was pissed off about it. I was really pissed off about it because
Preston Stone was a favorite for people out there in SMU.
He
did a lot for them. He put them on their back in a year where he battled through some injuries and won them some games. And we're always one of those advocates, but you shouldn't lose your job for an injury.
Right.
He kind of got written off, like Wegman, right? They both got written off for the new flavor of the month. But has that flavor of the month kind of hit? Are you getting record sales off that flavor of the month? And have they made that step to the next progression? We'll have to see. And I'm not saying Rhett Lash is going to get fired. I'm just saying that maybe there's some phone calls made.
Agreed.
Prior to what could have been made, when you were doing things on the up and up and everybody was happy.
Agreed. I like that a lot, man. Nino, this is a fun episode. Always a fun episode, man. I know you got something brewing. I don't know if you're ready to announce it. You got a new show that's on the horizon. My dog will not shut up.
He's excited for it as well. I'm gonna be dropping a morning Boston College podcast. It's going to be the Beantown Brew. Just look out for a little bit different than what we normally do, like on the CFB Prime, night show. It's going to be a cup of coffee. You wake up in the morning like good morning football. This is what we're going to give you, the Beantown Brew, to be on Thursdays, probably like 9:30. Keep an eye out for it. It's coming soon.
I love it. My guy Nino, who's Mr. Prime Time, is going to give you guys an early morning show. As I always like to say, there are no more victories in the sport that survive and advance. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. And until next time, you all take care. Yes, sir. Today I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown.